right. So, hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I know there's people still coming in. So, welcome, welcome. We're super excited to have you today at our Banker to Broker presentation. So I'm just going to quickly introduce around the room here who do we have online. We have, first off, the Borlée sisters. So an amazing team of sisters that they come to us from Alberta, but you're also now working in Ontario and any other provinces on the horizon, Tara?
Right now, I think we've got a rep in each of the provinces all across Canada, so we're very excited about that.
Wow. Okay. That's fantastic. So lots of opportunity. If you are interested in talking to Tara after today's session, I'm sure she'd be happy to have a chat with you. So Tara runs one of our biggest teams here at Mortgage Architects. They're going to do almost $1 billion in business this year. Close to 2,000 transactions already, and we're not even at the end of the year yet. So how many brokers do you have on your team now, Tara?
I think we're at about 175 right
175. That's crazy. And growing every day. And of those 175, 30%, I believe you said, come from the bank. We're bankers.
Yeah, I think Blair and I both, our history was working for TD Canada Trust and moved over to the broker side. And we had a big following from TD, and slowly we've had a big following from people who worked at RBC, people who worked at Scotia. So yeah, we definitely have a big team of people that historically worked at the bank and made the switch over to the broker side.
Yeah. And I think you said of your top 10 agents, you're at about 85% that came from the bank. So of the more successful ones on your team, usually they came from one of the big banks that you just mentioned. So Tara was with TD for 15 plus years, and now runs the Borlée team. And Blair, her sister, was with TD for 11 plus years, and she runs a branch under the Borlée team. So she's also got kind of her own team there as well. So two sisters absolutely just killing it, coming from their careers at the bank, and so beloved in our industry as well. Wonderful people, wonderful training, wonderful everything, mentors. And then we also have Joe Pinheiro on the line. Joe, pretty much an industry legend. Everyone in our industry knows him. He has been around for 25 plus years of experience running Canada's biggest mortgage brokering networks, correct? Including as recently Mortgage Architects and the Dominion Lending Center group of companies. He was also on the board of directors with MPC, I believe the only person to be chair twice of Mortgage Professionals Canada. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Nobody wanted it the second time. No, that's not true.
The only person in history. So we're looking at history being made. And he also literally teaches the mortgage licensing course. So you can't really have anyone more equipped to speak to this today. Then we have Jody Hiltz, who is my coworker. Jody and I are both vice presidents of broker relations here at Mortgage Architects. So we help with our teams and franchises and running them here. So Jody and I will definitely be reaching out to you guys afterwards to have some conversations and kind of see where you're at. And then last but not least, we have our president, Dustan Woodhouse. Hello, Dustin.
Good morning. I was 2 minutes late. I apologize.
You're all good. So author of a multiple series, Be the Better Broker, absolute genius in this industry. You were a very successful broker yourself too, and then kind of came over to the business side, and now he is our president here at Mortgage Architects, and we're super lucky to have him with all of our experience. So I think let's take it away. We're going to start with Joe. Joe, over to you.
Okay, that's great. I don't know if we're going to see a PowerPoint, but everybody else, I believe, can see it. Is that right?
I will. I'll share it. I got it.
All right. Well, welcome, everybody. It's a real pleasure to be here. Of course, I only have, I think they said 12 minutes, and I don't think I've ever done anything where it took me 12 minutes, but I'm going to at least try to do this. Okay. So first of all, it's great that you have an interest in the broker channel. As you probably heard, and I don't need to be the one to tell you, of course, there's been a lot of the bankers from all the brands across Canada having a closer look at the broker channel, specifically now, or particularly now. And a lot of it has to do, with just the year that we've had, right? And I'm sure Tara and Blair are also going to speak to the fact that we know the challenges of moving from a banker to a broker. But some of the reasons why I think it's a good idea. Now, first of all, right out of the gate, there's nothing wrong working at the bank. The bank's a great place to work. You learn credit, you learn business processes. Yeah, I'm sure you built great client relationships, and I'm sure a lot of you have built a really nice career working for the bank. But in the interest of time, this is my thought: is that first of all, not everybody is meant to be a broker, and that's fine. What we're looking for, or what the broker industry really thrives on, or how bankers become successful in our space, is when the mindset changes from I'm going to be continue being a salesperson, and that hunt, kill, eat mentality, and feed the clients and your relationships to the bank, or I'm going to be an entrepreneur myself, and I'm going to build a mortgage practice that benefits me and my family, and not simply just the shareholders of the bank. So I think it has to be, in order to be successful, there has to be a mind shift. It gets to the point where you say, you know what, maybe I'm at that point in my career where I bring more value to the bank than maybe what my current bank brings to me. Okay, so it's the mindset that matters. And if you have that mindset, just like Tara and Blair, with that entrepreneurial mindset, obviously look at their great accomplishments that they've been able to do that. You can't accomplish that with a mindset of just simply being a salesperson. So if you have that shift in your mindset, if you see it, as I've been in the business actually 30 years. I've seen a lot of bankers come, and one thing I can say, and I'm sure Dustin can attest to this as well, most of the bankers will always come and say, "Why didn't I do this sooner?"
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And one of the reasons why they say, "Why did I do this sooner?" Because first of all, once you're in a position where, first of all, you're not saying no as often. Being a broker, especially with mortgage architects, you have access to the Canadian mortgage lending landscape at your disposal. Okay, you have the access of all the lenders across Canada. So the solutions and service that you can offer your clients and your referral source, you bring a much better value to your referral sources and to your clients. And the other mind shift that really changes when you become a broker is that the most important thing I find in my experience when you're working with the bank, of course, is the referral source. But when it comes to clients, it's about getting that transaction done. In the broker space, the most important thing is the relationships you have with your customers. And a mortgage transaction becomes something that happens within the life of that relationship. And that's how you build a mortgage business. Go ahead, Dustin. I'll let you.
I just want to quickly interject because I just got off a call that a point came up that a former banker made. We have a number of lenders in the broker space, including some major banks, where you add $10,000, you add $20,000, or you add $40,000. They all have different numbers, but the thresholds are as low as $10,000 of new money added to an existing mortgage with that lender and you process it as a refinance renewal, a refinance midterm. You actually get paid on the entire mortgage balance over again. So that's really why we're talking about the power of the relationship, because it is not one and done. You will get paid every time you're working with that client over and over and over, as long as you're adding a modest amount of new money to that transaction.
Perfect.
Key point.
Thanks, Dustin. And the other thing to remember, and I've always told this to clients, and then the banker, as a broker, you can tell clients, and again, speaks to Dustin's point, the mortgage that I'm going to give you today or fits your needs today is not going to be the mortgage forever. And I can appreciate that in the bank world, the last little while, because we're all dealing with stress tests. And believe me, we have stress tests over here too. And we got challenges over here. The other difference is we have so much more options to help clients. And so we get them a mortgage today. Maybe it'll be a different mortgage 6 months from now, a year from now. So being able to build your business by giving proper guidance and counsel and having all the products and options available, that's a great place to work. And that's one of the first reasons why bankers say, "Why didn't I do this sooner?" I'm tired of saying no to my client, and I'm tired of fighting with my bank to try to get an exception done. I want to get out of that space. Now, everybody in the brokers, every banker out there, I don't have to tell you there's more money per transaction in the broker space, considerably more, without buying down the rate. The other thing that most people don't really know, and just think about the impact in your own business this could make, and I appreciate this is like the end of the bonus season and so forth, setting yourself up as your own corporation. and the tax advantages of doing that. So you don't have to let me tell you the tax advantages of do that. Speak to your own accountant and find out what is the tax advantages of being incorporated when you come to our space. So again, it's a mind shift that has to happen to transition from a banker to broker. And if you feel you're that individual that is an entrepreneur, wants to build your own mortgage practice, add more value to your clients in your relationship, build a business focused on the relationship, drive more revenue for yourself, now is the time to think about it. Now, another point that I hear from bankers all the time, and I appreciate this sincerely, it's not a good time. Well, we all know there's never a good time to make a switch. Okay, but with Mortgage Architects and the great people on the team Mortgage Architects, they have a very defined, well-oiled machine as far as dealing with the transition. As much as we love to have you here by next week Friday, we understand it takes time, and we will help you make that transition, because I find the transition is the part that makes people say maybe next month, maybe next quarter, maybe next year. So I encourage you strongly to reach out to any one of us. And let's talk about what a transition could look like. Let's talk about what the business could be. And if you're with RBC and RBC is your number one choice today, that's great. We want architects to be your number one choice, your second choice. And we want you to engage us, have discussions. And again, let us show you how transitioning to the broker space could be what you've been waiting to do. And we'd be happy to help you do that. Again, I don't want to take any more time. I can let Dustin say a few words if he likes, or
well, I could speak to a couple of points on the slide on the screen. As somebody who personally incorporated at age 18, so my corporation is now 34 years old, which is unbelievable, and bought my first commercial property at age 19. Again, part of that being built around that corporation. I love to have conversations around the power of being incorporated. It is an unbelievable tool. To give you just a very 100,000 foot view, on 50 million in volume in broker world, if you can live on $120,000 a year income, you basically wind up with $173,000 more cash flow in your life. You don't pay $173,000 less in tax. That's not what I'm saying. But due to the way you can structure your income on the corporate side, at the end of the year, a $50 million producer who is not incorporated, who doesn't have the ability to incorporate, has $173,000 less cash flow than a $50 million broker who is incorporated. And that's basically the purchase of a $900,000 property inside a holdco each and every year. So it really, really starts to add up. And of course, the compensation structure is quite different. Again, that's usually very eye-opening too. You actually get paid significantly more, again, often from the same lenders on the broker side. And that's not because the bank is willing to pay brokers a premium. They're not. Ultimately, they're probably paying us less than what it actually costs to carry their MMS team. Because of course, you are paying for your own office space, your own heat, your own light, your own phone, etc. But instead of all that money going into the systems that support you, it comes into your own pocket and you decide what systems are going to support you. So come on in, the water's fine.
Yeah, the water's fine. It's a very safe place. The training, the support, the lenders' products, we have access, as you can imagine, to more lenders than anybody else. And just to give you an idea, as far as like the DLC group of companies, the size and scope, we're a $78 billion company. I don't think there's a bank in Canada that does half that amount. So we're a big place, a recognizable place, wonderful relationships with all the top lenders, as you can imagine. They want you on our side, and we'd love to have you part of our family. And we're here to help you. If you're ready, we're absolutely here to help you.
And inside the broker space, I mean, to name a few names of major banks, since we're talking to bankers, of course, we have HSBC, TD, Scotiabank, and most recently, we now have Bank of Montreal entering the broker channel as well. And no doubt the remaining banks outside the broker channel have their eyes on the broker channel, one of them having just commissioned a study, not unlike the study that BMO commissioned 2 years ago. So gives you an idea of where the direction things are headed. Mortgage world has simply become too complicated for branch level origination. And the banks are realizing that they cannot train staff to do 13 different things, including originating mortgages. It's just not happening. And so a specialized sales force like the broker channel is increasingly the go-to.
Well said. Yeah. If there's any questions coming, guys, by the way, you can always type into the Q&A. But thank you so much, Joe and Dustin. That was super informative. We're going to hand it over now to Tara and Blair. So our ex-bankers turned brokers.
Thank you, Sarah. I was going to, I was just thinking, if I was on this call, thinking about moving from the bank to the broker, and I get it, you're hearing Dustin and Joe saying, you know what, the water's warm, we're going to make it smooth, but it's scary, and I get it's scary. I did it. These are some of the things that helped me, give me peace of mind to make the move. You already know how to do a mortgage. So whatever bank you're working with, you know how to do a mortgage. You know how a mortgage works, TDS, GDS. You know what paperwork to ask for. It might be a little bit different depending on the bank, but you can still do your job. You can wake up and you can carry on. So I was working for TD, obviously, before I made the switch. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to be okay. When a client calls, I'll be able to answer their question generally. And I also think it's good to be scared. It's good to be scared because it's going to make you work harder. It's going to make you get a restart on your business. You're going to get, you have whatever you want for social media. Right now, you are in a box with what you can do. Everything has to be approved by corporate. And it's almost like a whole new world of things you can do to promote yourself and promote your business. One of the reasons I switched over was because I thought, you know what? And I like TD, they've done lots of good things for me, but I wanted to grow a business that I could pass down. I've got 4 kids. I wanted to pass my business down to them. And working at TD, you wouldn't have been able to do that. You could pass down some of the clients, and some of the clients would work. But what I've done is I've built a business, and I built a business of clients, employees, brokers that work under me that we can take a split off of. It is a way more lucrative solution to banking. And the other thing I was going to mention is something that surprised me moving from banker to broker is the amount of support you get. I was shocked at how many people were willing to help me. There's lots of different venues you can ask your questions on social media. There's I Love Mortgage Brokering, Be the Better Broker. There's groups just for women in mortgages. And the support you get is overwhelming, and it surprised me. And people aren't worried about you stealing their client because there's lots of business out there. So by far, moving from banker to broker was one of the best decisions I made in my life. And Joe mentioned this. You will see once you move over, I should have done this a long time ago. Blair?
Blair, if I don't mind, I'll just quickly interject.
Yeah.
Because Terry, you actually highlight a really important point these days. I mean, if you rewind the clock 15 years, okay, you could have a blog post, which you couldn't do. As a broker, you could put out a brokering blog. But over the last 15 years, where it's really gone is, as an individual broker, you're able to have a podcast. You're able to have endless streaming video clips on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, etc. And you can market the living heck out of yourself with virtually no oversight. There is some regulator oversight from one province to another to some degree. You have to be a little cautious. But in many provinces, you can run your own promotion. You can run your own little contest. You can do a lot more. A lot. You can do vastly more than you can do when you're inside that one branded box to get the word out there of who you are and what you do. Sorry, Blair, go take it away.
No, that's okay. Like I will have to say that moving over from banker to broker is very scary. And I was terrified, even having, I truly will say this from day one, I had the best mentor coming into this business, and it still terrified me. But when I came over, I think even now I say I should have done it sooner. I say it every day because the money wise it's drastically different, but I also feel like it's as we grow today and age, every client is unique, every situation is unique. And I was feeling like we were just trying to jam every single client in one bank's policies. Whereas now I can offer different things and help clients in different ways than I ever could have at the branch level. We've got so much more options and so much more products that we can offer that'll make something just that much better for a client. And the other thing that on this side is that I also find that lenders, they phone you, they want your business, they want you, they're willing to help you. Whereas sometimes just at the branch level, you're doing everything you can to push those files through, just absolutely everything to push them through. Whereas, we've got dedicated underwriters that are like, you know what, why don't you try to get me this piece of paper and let's see if we can, maybe it'll look like this and we can make it work this way. So there's just more support, I feel like, on this side.
Blair, one thing that I found interesting was the underwriters on this side. Lots of them are solely commission underwriters. So the underwriter wants to get the deal done just as bad as you do. And Blair nailed it when she said, when you're working at a bank, you're almost at the mercy, like, listen, I'm so sorry. Can you please pick up my deal? I'm sorry to bug you. Can you please? On this side, it's, we get emails all the time. Hey, send us a deal today. Send us a deal today. Hey, if we give you hockey tickets, are you going to send us a deal? Hey, can we give you tickets to a movie? Send us a deal. Like, it is such a breath of fresh air that people want your business and they are begging for your business and they want to help you get your files approved and help you make more money. So it's great.
Yeah, if I can add just one point, just 'cause I had a conversation with a gentleman yesterday who worked at the bank. No need to mention the bank, but I asked what was his frustration. He goes, "It seems like my bank just doesn't want any business now. Like everything is a fight. Everything is a fight." And what you find is that some banks come in the market and some that slightly slow out of the market. We see that in our broker space as well. But when you have every lender, the Canadian mortgage landscape, you're going to have some that are in and some that are out. There are always going to be large appetite for the business that we bring to them.
I have three little things. I'll try and tie them all together. Look, change is awkward, right? On the one hand, everybody wants a new car, a new house, maybe a new spouse. People want to change some things in their life. But on the other hand, change can be difficult and awkward. But as has been unpacked here, like the opportunity for increased earnings, but more importantly, for increased flexibility to build those relationships with clients by having solutions, one of which came to mind. I remember going head to head with a certain brand banker years ago, and that bank had no Purchase Plus Improvements program and had gone even further than that and had basically brainwashed, there's no other word to use, their entire sales team into believing that Purchase Plus Improvements wasn't an actual product and it didn't actually exist. Where of course it does exist at other major banks and many other lenders in the mortgage channel. And it was very interesting when I printed all the documents off and put them in front of them. And I'm like, no, look, like we went on the website, like this exists. This is a program. And that individual, just the nature of their database and the clients that were coming to them through the realtors they were working with, it was a ton of fix and flip, fixer upper type buyers. And when they realized this program exists, that Purchase Plus Improvements policy alone was what moved them into the broker channel. And another big one is insurance. Most bankers are experts on closing the insurance and expressing the value of disability and life insurance. And on the broker side, it's important as well, but the rates that you all have access to have nothing to do with your insurance numbers. We would like to see you closing that product more than anything because we believe it's the right thing to do when a client's going into that transaction, having that proper insurance. But not only are your rates not tied to your insurance protection rate, you're also paid on average an additional $797 per file where the clients do opt into the insurance. And that insurance is age protected and portable from one lender to another. So if you're moving that client from one lender to another because they weren't worth a lender that had a HELOC, they now want a HELOC, so you're moving from lender A to B at renewal, that mortgage protection policy, the insurance, is portable and can move from one lender to the other and stays in place, age protected from when it was underwritten. So again, just way more flexibility, lots of opportunities to help your clients in much broader ways. I don't have anything further to add, guys.
Honestly,
That was good.
there's we want to be respectful of everybody's time, of course.
Exactly.
There's just so many options.
Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna hear from Jody.
That's awesome. I can come in and speak. And you know, but we do want to be cognizant of time, and we did a really great time in sticking to our 30 minutes. So thank you so much. I just wanted to bring up two things, and one thing that Tara had mentioned in regards to all of the help on social media and all of the groups. They are a really great place to ask questions. I just wanted to mention one more social media group that I think is really great. And also, you know, for the bankers coming in, there is a newbie mortgage professionals group that I actually co-started back in 2017. With another broker on Mortgage Architects, and it is such a safe place. And you already are coming with, you know, the credit and stuff that you need, but it's a safe place to ask questions, to learn, to hear about the lenders. So that was just another thing. So I just want to give you a behind the scenes sneak peek. We're not going to go into all of the details because Sarah and I are going to be reaching out to you individually to have a private confidential chat following this. But there are some great things that come with Mortgage Architects when you decide to make that transition. Best in class leadership team, as you can see here, led by Dustan Woodhouse, a great introduction. He really, you know, with his books, with Be the Better Broker, if you sit down and you read those books, it is just very step-to-step, simple, follow it, amazing books. We are full service, and we can get more into that. We do have top lender access and status, which is important. We have a central underwriting unit, leading edge technology. We have regular training, mortgage and innovative marketing training. We host developmental events and masterminds. And we have a whole back system of marketing materials for you. There's just a ton of stuff that I'm excited to show you and give you a sneak peek of after this. So yeah, I'll give it back to Sarah to end that off.
All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Thank you to the Borley sisters. Thank you, Dustin. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Jody. We hope that you guys learned a lot today. On to the next steps. Basically, just reach out, contact us. Jody and I specialize in the banker to broker transition. We have a whole team behind us, and we do this really every day. So we are a really great wealth of resource, and we look forward to getting in touch with all of you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, exactly 30 minutes. Look at us. Woo.
That was pretty impressive. Thank you very much. I didn't think
that was pretty impressive. Yeah. Thanks so much, guys.
think-
We hope you found this helpful.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Nice seeing you, Tara and Blair.
Thank you, Joe. Take care.
Bye-bye.